John and Ellen Adams with we're standing here outside the Powel House, which is right behind me. This is the home of Samuel and Elizabeth Powell. Samuel Powell was actually the governor or the mayor of Philadelphia, the first one after the last colonial one, and the first one after we declared our independence. And his wife Elizabeth was very involved in the social scenes. She was a good friend of George Washington's, and they would host many people here. So, of course, we're here for the 250th of the First Continental Congress. One of the big things about the Continental Congress was not so much what was happening at Carpenter's Hall, but it was really these delegates starting to get to know each other socially. And so they would have many different kinds of dinners and entertainments repeatedly. You look at the diary of George Washington, he's dining and visiting people all over, including here at the Powell's. You look at John Adams' diary, and he talks about how it's almost too much for him. And that leads to one of those stories about this house. On September 8th of 1774, John Adams in his diary talks about what he referred to as a sinful feast that occurred here at the Powell's residence, where he talks about him and many of the other delegates had dinner here, and he's talking about how grand the feast was and how they were drinking all sorts of punch and wine and porter and beer and et cetera, as he notes in his diary. And he says after they've had their fill here, they decided they were going to go all down to Christ Church. And Christ Church was the main church here in Philadelphia, and it was actually the tallest building in colonial North America. And they decided they would go up to the steeple of that, and they went up there that evening to look out over the Delaware River and the city. But it just kind of gives you an idea of those kinds of social gatherings where people from Massachusetts, people from Virginia, people from South Carolina and New Hampshire coming together, not just to discuss politics, but to really kind of get to know each other and realize that they have a lot more in common than they initially thought. And those connections are going to be really important in building relationships between these colonies as they went on their path forward towards ultimate independence. But thanks for checking in, and keep following us. We're going to take you to a couple more sites later today.